VA's leading social enterprise show. On the Mic with Mike King Biz, delivering food for thought. To find out more about the dynamic host of On the Mic with Mike, please visit his website at mikekingbiz.com.
Mike King says, Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic. Mike King here. This is part of the Mike King Biz Media Network, ESPN Richmond 106.1, 5 to 7 a.m. every Monday through Friday. International Business Growth Radio, Saturdays, 10 a.m. Eastern, as well as CW Richmond TV, Wednesday and Friday at 5 a.m. Alrighty, so it is Chamber Wednesday. We don't have Danielle Fitchie. We don't have El Presidente in the house, so I'm not sure what's going to go on today. But she's watching, so we got to keep it between the lines. I got my man Jonathan here from the world-famous Chesterdfield Chamber. We got Dr. John. Yeah, you could be Are you just Dr. John?
I don't know about doctor.
You're a lawyer.
Yeah.
He's a lawyer in the house. See, I'm just messing with him. Sometimes people get confused with doctors and lawyers. We got professionals in the building. Alrighty, so Jonathan, let's go on with the elevator pitch for the Chesterfield Chamber.
Chesterfield Chamber, it's your go-to spot to connect with businesses and business people here in Chesterfield County and the surrounding areas. We won't tell anyone if you come down to Chesterfield.
Yeah, because good business does travel. Chesterfield, and tomorrow is a big day. Yeah. It's always a big day with the chamber luncheon.
It is.
I mean, it's a couple hundred people there. You know people, even if you don't know anyone when you first walk in. It's not going to last long. You are going to meet people, and there are people there who can change the course of how you do business.
Yeah. I tell people it's the place where you dive in. And if you're an introvert, you can buckle up. If you're an extrovert, it's like heaven. But we have people there ready to greet you and help you if you're an introvert to start meeting people, networking with other business leaders in Chesterfield County.
It is something for introverts. I mean, it is. I stand outside the door and be like, okay, I'm going in. And next thing you know, I'm talking to... It's not a place where you talk to the people that you already know. It's people that, hey, you meet up with this person and that person. And next thing you know, it's like old home week when you come back to the chamber. All right, sir, you are our legal eagle. Tell folks who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I'm John Rabel. I own Launch, which is a law firm that works with small and mid-sized businesses. So we're sort of legal services done differently. We operate on a subscription model. So our clients pay us a flat monthly fee depending on size of their company and what their needs might be. And we help them with things like often they're scared, they've got risks they don't recognize.
Yes, sir.
Worried about the liability that's putting on the company. And they're looking for a strategic partner who can help them navigate through contracts, employees, regulations, things that aren't always front and center in their daily operations, but can cause them a lot of trouble if they're not on top of it.
And before we came on here, we talked about sometimes people are concerned when they go see their attorney. Yes, yeah. Yes, sir. Yes. And so something that may have been not this much of a problem in May, we waited and put it off. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go talk to John. I'm going to talk. Now it's October. Now it's a little bit more of an issue. So ease up people's fears about coming to see you as the attorney.
Yeah, I think one of the issues businesses have when dealing with lawyers is oftentimes it's always reactive. So they don't show up to talk to a lawyer until they've got a big problem. That's a dispute or a lawsuit or something. It's already intimidating. You're thinking it's going to be expensive. You're going to have to watch the clock and all of that. What my firm does is try to be more proactive. We work with clients before they have these troubles, help them identify areas that are issues, and we can address them before they become huge problems. So it's more of an advisor role first. So one of the things I like to say is think about how Fortune 500 companies use in-house counsel. Those people are strategic advisors. They help them prevent issues. No reason small businesses can't access that same type of service.
I hadn't thought of it that way. So, Jonathan, a lot of times you're out there talking to a lot of businesses. regarding chamber business and work and all those things. And a lot of times people see like people think of chamber as big organizations. You're out there doing a bunch of ribbon cuttings, talking to business owners like John, and a lot of times business owners know what they know, and it's a whole bunch of stuff we don't know. Talk about the chamber's place is basically like a connector. You guys are matchmakers.
Yeah, and in fact, like the number of businesses that we have that come and start off, and they start off as a solopreneur, and then they start up and they have to figure out, okay, what does it look like to hire people? What does it look like, when you start getting taxes involved, and what does it look like when you need a lawyer? And so for us, it's they come to us to say, hey, I have this need. And I say, well, hey, I have John. So
I got
and I was like, and in the chamber, we love to have a guy, a guy, a girl, anyone who can meet a need of another business. And so that's why it's great having people like Launch that we can refer people to, just to say, hey, this is your go-to need for if you have a lawyer, if you have a law need, talk to John, and we'll make that warm introduction for you, so you don't have to, they don't have to reach out.
Okay, counselor, you've been in business 6 years or so, right?
Yeah, I started this firm about 6 years ago. I've
Okay.
been practicing law about 12 years.
When you hung out your shingle as your own place, what were you going to do different than where you came from?
Yeah, so one of the big things was the subscription services. So small businesses always are paying attention to the budget, right?
Yes.
Always
yes,
want to know
yes,
where the
sir.
money's going. Don't have a lot of extra money. And when you talk about businesses using lawyers, it's always by the hour, if not by the minute. So it gets expensive and you don't know what it's going to cost. You can't budget for it. So I thought I could fix that. A lot of other services were starting to be offered on a monthly subscription basis. You see it with marketing, some accounting firms. So I thought no reason a law firm can't do that same thing, becomes budget friendly, and opens the door for people to get advice before they put themselves in that hole if they're in trouble. So that was a big difference.
How big of a business model adjustment is that? For a person who's not in the legal field, it seems like, okay, there's most of the people know the old way, and then you guys are the vanguards. You're out there doing it this way, as using basically in-house counsel.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. In the legal field, I think it's still a huge adjustment from a business model standpoint. The billable hours, by far, still the king. And I mean, people aren't going to go away from that quickly.
Alrighty, counselor, as people come up, what is it that you see on a regular basis that people need to address now? When you see lots of people are contacting you, you see this problem over and over again now. And what is it as now as opposed to, say, pre-pandemic times? Is there something that stands out?
I think an issue, maybe it's what's playing out just as the pandemic was playing out, not necessarily related to it, but a lot of small businesses are having issues with independent contractors versus employee and how to properly classify them. And that's been a hot button issue for both the state and federal government for the past few years. And if you get it wrong, you're looking at fines, penalties, lawsuits. And it's a perfect example of something we were talking about earlier. You could avoid all of that fairly easily, but businesses don't think about it until it's too late.
And when I show up, my hair's on fire.
Right.
And,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
And it's going to be hard to back you out of that without it costing you something.
Okay, so Jonathan, what else is new and exciting at the chamber?
Oh man, we have a busy month this month. We have Chamber Next Steps, which is pretty much our orientation for the whole chamber. That's next Thursday. Our legislative breakfast, where we have all the folks running for elected office this year. We're going to have them at a breakfast down at the Spring Hill Suites in Chester next Friday. And then we have our Women's Business Council has Lori Warren from the Richmond International Raceway that is coming. She's speaking, and that is going to be the last Thursday of this month. So go to ChesterdfieldChamber.com, go to our calendar. They're all on there. You can sign up there and get more information about each of those.
There's always great things happening at the chamber. Also, let's see right here. It's not Danielle, and it's not, she is not here with us. But what we do is we go back and we always talk about how business helps society be better. And that's what this program is. On the mic of Mike King here. We're talking to Jonathan from the Chesterdfield Chamber and our counselor, John, from Launch. How can people find out information about Launch?
Yeah, so they can visit our website. It's launchstrategylegal.com. And that's an easy way to get some more information. We've got information about our services on there and sort of how we help small businesses. So that'd be a good starting spot.
When you hung out the shingle, when did you know that you had something?
I'm still trying to figure out if I have something.
Not sure about this thing.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. Now, I think when I got started, it being sort of such a shift from what you're taught about how to run a law firm with the billable hour, I took it slow at first. I worked with a group of like 3 or 4 businesses, had an existing relationship with, and sort of under the premise of, I want to experiment this idea on you guys for a while. And especially the part of being able to just call your lawyer when you have a quick question about something and not worried about the bill and just being an advisor to them really took hold. And that's when I started to think, yeah, this model could work.
Well, from a business model standpoint, it seems like you would have to really watch yourself because, you could get into the freewheeling talk and the clock isn't running.
Yeah.
I would think when you know the clock is running, you will always know the clock is running.
Right. Yeah. Definitely something I'm always aware of is I think you can hit that sweet spot where it's working for everyone, both sides. You got to be careful to make sure you're providing enough value to the client first and foremost, but also that, at a certain point, still managing my time to make sure it's not being taken advantage of.
On the mic, Mike King here. We got launched the legal firm here. We have the Chesterdfield Chamber. Jonathan is with us as well. I got to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment. Chance, I will be back in just a moment. And we're still live. So
All right.
Don't talk crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the mic with Mike King here. We had to take a pause for the cause. So we are back. So Jonathan, how can people find information out about the Chesterdfield Chamber?
Chesterdfieldchamber.com is our go-to. It's our go-to place for all information. Chesterdfield Chamber. You can also find us on all of the socials. Check us out. You can see what we do and how we do it and when we do it.
Counselor, how can people find information about what you do?
Yeah, I think the website is a good starting spot. Launchstrategylegal.com. Lots of info there. Contact forms if you want to reach out to us, and we can talk more in depth about any questions people might have.
What type of businesses do you see now more than any who kind of need your services?
Yeah, that's a good question. I hear that a lot. We tend to be pretty industry agnostic. Definitely small businesses that are starting to make the transition to bringing on either independent contractors or employees. That opens the door to a bunch of issues they've been able to ignore up until that point. So that's always, I think, a good point to start having a conversation. And that doesn't matter about industry as much as size.
So when people show up to your door, their hair's on fire, but it does not need to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't. So in other words, go see the lawyer before the problem gets carried away.
Exactly. I think that's one of the things I hear talking to a lot of businesses is, well, I'm not getting sued, or I don't have any legal issues, which is great. Nobody wants to deal with any of that. But oftentimes you have a lot of underlying issues that are putting a lot of strain on the business. You just don't know they're there. And if we can stop them from ever putting any strain on the business, that's great.
One of the best parts about having your own radio show is the people come into the studio. So we got my friend who just stepped into the studio. He is the painkiller, Dr. Capri. And his line is 50% of the population is in pain. In other words, if it ain't me, it's you. This sort of seems it will be the same thing, which is, it may not be a problem today, but that little nagging thing, it's just a little, it's nothing.
Yeah.
In May.
Yeah,
exactly. In September, there's something. In December, an arm's going out my back, and now I got an issue.
Yep.
Yeah. See, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where that came from, but the idea of it is go see the counselor before it turns into a problem. Talk about being part of the Chesterfield Chamber as well. So this is the chamber pitch right here. Yeah.
Go. Yeah, the chamber is great for several reasons. One, I think it's a nice resource for small business owners to have something there like that who supports them. A lot of small business owners are on their own, let's say.
It is lonely.
Yeah, it can be very lonely. If you're own a solo business, solo entrepreneur, or even if you have employees, you're still the only one at the top and sort of isolated there. So it's nice to have that sort of support. It's a great way to connect with people who can be resources for my clients, which, it's always beneficial when someone comes to me, not in my area, but I know where I can point you in that direction. That's good benefit. And then, networking for my own business as well. And being around a lot of like-minded people who are moving through the business stages.
So one of the things, it's on the mic, Mike King here.
Business show in RVA. On the mic with Mike in RVA.
Alrighty, we're here with our good friends John and Jonathan. So when I tell people what I do, sometimes people are like, "You do what?" Counselor, when you talk to other lawyers and you tell them your business model, the floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, I try not to talk to lawyers either.
Hey, well,
like everybody else.
Wow, you limit your conversations there.
Yeah.
But they're used to living life a certain kind of way, and here you are being a rebel.
Yeah, I think it's hard to initially wrap your head around how you make that work from a business standpoint. Because the billable hour is a fairly straightforward way to do things, and this is a little bit more complicated in terms of making sure I'm running the business in a way that it'll grow. And so I think people are so ingrained into the billable hour, they don't even want to explore what another opportunity could be.
Yeah, there's a lady that I met. She does like prenatal or baby care. She has that same model. And when she talks about it, she's just like, the other doctors are like, oh, you know what? You do what?
Yeah.
It's not what you're used to. It's the same thing with the program. Alrighty, so on the mic of Mike King here. One last time, Jonathan, how can people find information about the Chesterfield Chamber? I don't even know why people check on some other, I don't know where people are going, Chesterfield, wherever.
Yeah, Chesterfieldchamber.com. That's the best place, or all of our socials, which are at Chesterfield Chamber, I believe.
You just got a lot of things coming. Legislative breakfast. I'll be at Lori Warren.
Yep.
Tomorrow is the luncheon.
Mm-hmm.
A couple hundred closest friends there.
Yep.
I got in trouble a couple weeks ago because I was calling Kelly Davis because I really needed her.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked her what she was doing. I'm like, where are you? Because she couldn't talk. I'm at the Chesterfield luncheon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So
Yeah, where were you, man? You were supposed to be there.
That's where I was supposed to be all of a sudden. I'm asking you. I'm bothering you while you're there doing something I should have been at. All right, John, how can people find you out there one last time?
Yep, launchstrategylegal.com. I know it's a little long, but that's the easiest place to find some info and connect with us.
So when I have issues, I could contact you like this right here. I just want to,
Hello from Washington, President JB here. Whenever Jill and I leave in our car, we tune in to our guy, Mike King Biz, on ESPN Writ.
Counselor, okay. Exhibit 1. I always wanted to say that.
Hey, yo, Richmond, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit, but keep moving forward. This is the Italian Stallion. Say the one and leave Philly and come to RVA. I always check out my man, Mike King Biz, on ESPN, 5-7 a.m. The champ of business talk radio. Emp, the man.
All right, one more, Counselor. Now, I'm just going to make sure that I'm in good...
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike.
Mike King isn't a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk.
Counselor, am I in okay shape there? No one ever says who they are.
Yeah, you might be.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that is not the most. That's not exactly what I was. I thought he was going to say, "Sure, Mike, you're okay."
I don't like to give definitive answers.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes. Okay, so I'm trying to skirt that line that says I have certain people. No one says I'm President JB. It could be James Brown. It could be a number of different people.
Yeah.
Who just happen to have a wife named Jill.
Right. I was going to say, yeah, they're all married to Jills.
Exactly. All righty. So on the mic, Mike, we got to run. These folks got stuff to do. They can't hang out all day here with me. So Danielle, over at the Chesterfield Chamber, El Presidente, we kept it within the lines here. We did what we were supposed to do. On the mic with Mike here this is Chamber Wednesday. Well, we're really doing some cool things with the folks here. Make sure you take a listen to our sponsors and advertisers. They help us stay on the air and do what we do because changing the world ain't cheap, easy, or free. And so that's what we do here. One of Mike, we got to run. Make sure you take a listen to our sponsors too because my grandkids need stuff. So make sure you check them out. Thanks now. Take care.